Hey, welcome back everyone. We've got a brand new Vevor 58cc chainsaw sitting here. And I know they are going like hotcakes right now. They're being sold on Amazon and everything else for less than $100. You know, and they are a really good saw. We have the Garwinter 6020. But he just unboxed it, put it together, and it wouldn't start for him. And it has the easy start system on it. Well, the problem with an easy start system is if you try to drop start them, you can pull the ropes out, and that's what happened. Well, he knows his way around chainsaws quite a bit, but he couldn't get the easy start to rewind and to get back together. So we've got it back together. We're going to try it for the first time to see if we can get it to start. And then we're going to see how this Vevor reacts. This has got a 20-inch bar on it. I am curious to see if it's a lot like the Garwinter. It's really not a 20-inch. It's an 18-inch. So let's see if this Vevor is as advertised and if it is a 20-inch bar as well. I'm going to measure from the front of the case to the tip, and then we'll see. Okay. And as you can tell, they are a good looking saw all the way around. They got a lot of good reviews. But let's see exactly what it may be. So we'll measure from the front. Let's just see what it is. From the front of the saw, we're going to give it the benefit of the doubt. It measures 19, actually 18 3/4 inches. That might be good enough for Vevor to call it 20 inches. But if I was calling it anything, I'd probably call it, I don't know, you can't call it a 19, so it'd probably be an 18. If we came out to actually what you can use to cut, we're closer to 18, 18.5. But I'm sure Vevor calls this a 20 inch. So it really doesn't matter. I was just curious. I'll show you a difference here. I have my Garwinter that I put a 22-inch bar on this Garwinter, and you can tell these are almost identical saws. Look at the front of those cases. They're both Zenoah clones. So if I bring this Garwinter up to about, you can see it's about 4 inches longer. So let me butt these two saws up right here. And you can see there the difference is almost 4 inches, 3.5 to 4 inches to the case. So this is a 22-inch on the Garwinter that I put on there. And so that tells me that even with our measurement that this probably is around an 18.5-inch bar. And I'm sure that Vevor is calling it a 20-inch. But you know, overall, these are really good saws. I have the 25cc top handle chainsaw that we're fixing to do a 1-year review on. So pay close attention. Watch for us on that. That has been an excellent saw, but I'm going to tell you some things about it. You know, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm not sponsored by Vevor or any chainsaw of that nature, so I'm going to give you the honest truth. I'm not monetized, so I'm not beholden to anyone. I'm just going to give you the honest truth. You can see that I have quite a collection of Husqvarnas, some Pro saws. I've got smaller Husqvarnas as well, some Poulans, as you can tell right back here behind me. You know, I've got some of the vintage 306A Chainsaw Massacre Poulans, and have some ProMac 55s and things of that nature. So this saw has never been started. He's excited to see if he can get it to run. It's a lot like I said, a lot like the Garwinter, almost identical. I'm sure it has probably the same engine in it, which is, you know, closer to a 55 to 58 cc saw. They advertise at 62. I actually think Vevor is advertising this to be a 58 cc. So what that's probably going to tell me, it's a lot like the Garwinter, and it's a 55 cc. But overall, you know, that's just the way that a lot of these clone saws do. They up the cc's by 5 or 6 cc's to make them sound a little bit bigger than they are, when actually if you was to tell me this was a 55 cc saw, I would buy it all day long, because they are good saws. But let's see if we can't get this started, and let's check the fuel and see if we got fuel. I'm sure we do. It's pressured up, so I'm sure we do. Oh yeah, it's full. We just put a pull rope in here, so I am very curious of how it's going to react. There was just something about the mechanism in here that I wasn't too sure of. So let's try this. We're going to pull on the choke. We'll put the on switch up. Now this is a easy start, and they'll tell you right away on these easy starts, do not drop start them. Okay, it's rough on them. If you sit here and drop them like this, it'll wind up breaking the rope, pulling the rope out. So all you basically do is you're going to sit here and you're going to pull up, and you're going to let that do the work. There's 4 pulls. So how many pulls do you think it's going to take? This saw has never started straight out of the box. There's 5, 6. Okay, 6. Let's push it in. 7. 8 pulls. You know, as you can tell, friends, I mean, it's oiling very good. You can kind of see here, and you can see the oil glistening off this bar, starting to drip on my mat. Oh, this saw started up pretty good. Let's try it again. You know, I'm going to tell you, friends, on these saws, you know, this thing is fresh out of the box. This is the first time it started, probably since it left the factory. You know, the one thing I do like about these saws, I have found that they do start them. You know, sometimes they'll let them run for about 20 seconds, but they'll start them up, make sure they start, make sure they run, and then they'll drain the fuel back out of them. But if you smell the inside, you can tell that they use some type of petroleum or synthetic fuel to start them up at the factory. So that's one thing I like about these saws, is they do start them. They kind of give them a test run, and then they box them up and ship them to sell. So first time though, it has started since it's been unboxed and packaged up. You saw me start it here. You saw me let it run for a little bit. A lot of people get excited, and I understand why. They want to go out and they want to get this saw. They want to get it in the wood. They want to try it out. But the thing you need to understand is they need to warm up for a little bit. You know, I may start this one 4 or 5 times, let it warm up, rev it up a little bit. You'll never hear me go wide open. You know, it may be 5 to 6, 7 minutes before you really hear me start to rev it up and let it go and heat it up. I've been a master ASE certified tech since the 80s. Used to work for Caterpillar, and I worked on some of the 5,000 cubic inch, 5,000 horsepower too, V16s. And I was the warranty tech for Cat, the engine specialist. So I've overhauled just about every size of engine that you can imagine, but they're all basically the same. They need to warm up. Just because they're a two-stroke, that doesn't mean anything different. A lot of people want to say, oh, two-stroke's different than a four-stroke. I'm going to tell you, the only difference is the way the fuel comes in and the way they exhaust. Other than that, they have rings in them, they have pistons in them, they have cylinders. You need to let them warm up. That is anything that have to do with your car, your pickups, motorcycles, chainsaws, weed eaters. Just let them warm up for a little bit. Let them acclimate, let them wear in. And so that's what we're going to do with this saw. We're going to just get it started, to get it running for him, let it run for a while. As you can see, the first time it's ever started was right here for you. We did have to put the pull rope in it. That'll be a video for another day, because that's something else to put one of these in. After you've done it once or twice, it's not that bad, but you got to pay real close attention. It has 2 sets of springs in there and the easy start mechanism. So that'll be a video for a different day, but we're going to go ahead and start this saw and see what we can do. You know, friends, we're sat here and we take a look. This is the oil that I run. I also run the Sabre, Amsoil Sabre, but this Husqvarna mixes to 2.5 gallons. This is the 6-quart 4 ounce. So that's for 50 to 1. I never run 50 to 1 in anything. I always run 40 to 1. A lot of people will tell you, oh, you don't need to. You're going to foul your plug out. 40 to 1 is not going to foul your plug out any quicker than 50 to 1 will foul your plug out. The only reason you start fouling your plug out is if you flood it and things of that nature. But at 40 to 1, I'm just here to tell you, you don't have to worry about it. Now, how you would mix this bottle, you can go buy this bottle and take you a 2.5 gallon jug. Only put 2 gallons of gas in it. Pour this whole bottle in to start with. Put 2 gallons on top of it, shake it up. That's 40 to 1. If I was to put 2.5 gallons of fuel in with this bottle, that would be 50 to 1. So easy way to remember it, in order to get 40 to 1, take this 2.5 gallon mix, put 2 gallons of fuel on top of this whole bottle of oil, and you got 40 to 1. Now I'm going to tell you why I use 40 to 1. 40 to 1, I have tore down on many of these engines, and a 40 to 1, you'll always see a little bit of oil residue on the piston. A little bit of oil residue, and I'm talking, when I say residue, I'm talking about you can see it glistening. You can see the oil, not the carbon or anything like that. You'll see the oil glistening, and at the bottom of the crankcase down here, you'll always see a little bit of a pull of your 2-stroke oil mix. That is a good thing. That'll help these things last, and I'm just here to tell you, if I'm going to use the Amsoil Sabre, I'm also going to mix it 40 to 1. I'm not going to mix it 50 to 1. I'm not going to mix it 75 to 1. And I'm not going to mix it 100 to 1. I don't care what I use. It's always going to be 40 to 1. I've overhauled more of these engines than most people have birthdays. That's probably watching this video. Probably 4 or 5 times more than what most people. An average is 55. So I can't tell you how many hundreds of these I've overhauled. I've seen them at 50 to 1. I've seen some running 60 and 70 to 1, had to be because they burned them up. And I've seen some of them, a lot of them that had 40 to 1. On the 40 to 1s, they always had less problems due to oil and gas mix than of anything else. Matter of fact, I can't tell you that anything that I have seen that's been mixed 40 to 1, I have had to overhaul due to a lack of oil. And also, 40 to 1, I've never seen a plug foul because of the oil being too thick where it wouldn't fire. They may have flooded it, but that had nothing to do with the oil. That just had to do with operator error, okay? So I always mix everything 40 to 1. If you want to mix yours 50 to 1, that's great. You do whatever you need to do, but I'm here to tell you, at 40 to 1, you're never going to have a problem because of the oil and fuel mix. Now, some people say you ought to go to 32 to 1. If that's what you want to do, fine. But I've not met too many engines yet that 40 to 1 will not do what 32 to 1 did, like this old Poulan back here. So 306. A lot of people say, well, you need to run that at 32 to 1. Actually, 40 to 1 is what you should be running this old early 80s saw back here. So that is my little spill on this. It has nothing to do with Husqvarna oil. It has nothing to do with Amsoil. It has nothing to do with Stihl. Any kind of two-stroke oil. It has nothing to do with any of it. I just run 40 to 1. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by anyone whatsoever. I'm just telling you from my professional opinion for someone who has done it over and over, that is not monetized, that is not sponsored, that is not being paid by anyone. I'm just telling you 40 to 1. Some people will say 40 to 1 is overkill, but I'm saying it's actually, if you want these things to run right and you want them to last and you treat them right and you let them warm up, they're going to last you a long time. So anyway, let's start this saw back again and I'll hush up and we'll get back after it. There you have it, friends. Hey, I appreciate you. God bless you for watching. Always look for ways to help one another. Remember, just take your time when you tear these things apart. Pay attention when you tear them apart. You can learn a lot. Hey, and always remember, love God and love your neighbor.